All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Tuesday, October the 4th. Getting ready for another great week here of tastings. A lot of stuff going on in the month of October, man. I don't know what I was thinking planning out this month. We got a lot of drinking to talk about, and what I drank yesterday, the Harlan and Bryant tasting. You know, this is just one of those tastings that we do because we have the wine. You know, we sent out the offer for this tasting. We didn't sell one bottle of Harlan or Bryant. But we sold out the tasting within one day. There's only 15 seats here at the Wine Watch to do one of these once-in-a-lifetime events. And we had 8 wines scheduled to go down. And you know what? When you come to the Wine Watch for an event, you are going to get extra. In addition to the 4 vintages each of Bryant and Harlan, I said we should throw in some other marquee labels from the Napa Valley just to compare. You know, we started out with the 93 vintage, and I looked around to see what I had in the store. 93 Opus, one of the wines we happen to have, one of the marquee wines of Napa Valley, so we should throw this in, and then the 97 Farniente. How would this wine compare to the 2 100-point wines, Bryant and Harlan, 2 of the greatest wines made in the 97 vintage? Well, there's at least one person in the room that thought the Farniente was better. And that's why we do these tastings. You know, you cannot drink points, one of the things I'd always say. And these wines have become so expensive. The 97s are close to $1,000 a bottle in most places where you can find them. So, you know, we have to get a group of 15 people together to justify opening up this many wines. And let me tell you, this was a once-in-a-lifetime evening. What a great time. I think we left here at 12:30 last night, and you know, that's what happens after we drink through 10 cult wines. The other bottles start popping open, and we had some 2003 Pichon Baron out of Magnum, some 2007 Farniente, some 2007 La Jota. What an incredible night. Well, let me tell you about the wines that we drank that we were scheduled to drink. We started out, well, I'm going to go backwards. We started out with 93, but I took my notes from 05 forward, and 05 is a great vintage in Napa Valley. This 05 Bryant and Harlan estate, both of them need a little time to open up. A big vintage. The Bryant family had some kind of fine herbs and bitter cocoa to the blackcurrant and cassis-berry fruit. Notes of fresh earth, some really distinct minerality with this Bryant family wine. It's a higher elevation vineyard up in the mountains on Pritchard Hill. You get that rocky kind of graphite minerality in there, but really elegant on the palate. Lovely, smooth and decadent tannins, but you know, built for the ages. This wine's still really big and tannic on the finish, but nice freshness. Lovely balance, just like the 2005 Harlan, which had some damp earth, dark chocolate, a really rich and decadent bouquet, blackcurrant, cassis, really forward and seductive with some fine herbs showing there as well. Lovely richness, that dark chocolate and fresh plowed back black earth showing, and a lovely layeredness in this wine. And, you know, I gave the edge to the Harlan estate in this, but just barely. You know, both of these wines, most excellent. All right, the 2000 Bryants and 99 Harlan, we didn't have an exact match on the vintages, but that's because the 2000 Bryant, one of the wines of the vintage, 2000, not a highly regarded vintage in Napa, but this is definitely a most excellent wine. A really rich and forward nose, maybe a little bit of Brett, kind of a little bit of that Band-Aid kind of medicinal aroma in this wine, but it had so much of everything else, not off-putting. There are a lot of people that think Brett is just one of those components that adds complexity to a wine. Lovely silkiness on the palate, really smooth, layers of spice and a little bit of that Brett showing on the finish. Just drinking beautifully. One of the best wines on the table to drink tonight. The 2000 Bryant family, most excellent. And then the 99 Harlan estate. This is a wine that did not get great press upon release, but continues to improve. And I even marked it up from the time I first tasted it till the end of the night because it really opened up in the glass. This was a few people's wine of the night, as was the 2000 Bryant. Maybe a bit medicinal to the nose here as well. Some blackberry, black cherry fruit, lovely milk chocolate, wonderful richness and power on the tongue with layers of that dark cherry fruit, firm tannins. Still quite young, lovely freshness, and lovely spice in this one. And the Harlan estate, just a little richer to me than Bryant family. Those of you that like that minerality, you may, you know, like the Bryant a little bit more, but the Harlan still has that, and it has a little extra layer of richness. Most excellent juice. The 97 Bryant and 97 Harlan, you know, I don't know how you couldn't pick these two wines as the wines of the night. They just had layers and layers on the finish. Still very big, still needing a little time, and you know, to me, the Harlan estate edged out the Bryant in the end. But both of these wines, man, killer wines. And then, like I said, Harlan to me just showed a little more length and a little more richness. But both of these still need time. The 97 Farniente really kind of paled in comparison, in my opinion. But still a really nice wine, an excellent bottle of wine, drinking really nice, really rich. Showed some oxidative qualities on the nose when I first opened it, but those seemed to blow off, that kind of beef stew kind of nuance. And really soft and silky, one of the best drinking wines on the table to open tonight. The 93s, well, you know, this is the only This is the only area where that Bryant bested the Harlan estate, in my opinion, and just by a shade. I gave the edge to Harlan in every other flight here, but the Bryant family, 93 not considered a great vintage. 93 and 98 probably the two lesser vintages in the 90s. Both of these wines, showing signs that they're at their peak or close to their peak. Nice softness at the end. The Bryant just had a little more to it in this flight, and I love that chocolate chip kind of mint nose in the Harlan, though. Really exotic. Both of these wines, most excellent. We threw in the Opus One, just for good measure, just to show one of the marquee wines of Napa Valley. And I like Opus, but distinctly Opus back here in the early days. This wine showing a bit of that barnyard, that Brett nuance also. And really nice, and just bested by the Bryant and the Harlan estate, though. All right, folks, that's what I had to drink yesterday. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.